Welcome to the Sweet Spot Podcast, a podcast that seeks to help you find your sweet spot when it comes to a variety of issues like relationships, finance, work, stress, fitness, and many other topics. I'm one of your hosts, Jeff Persichidi, along with Shah Punjani and CJ Jones. Now, on to the show. All right, everybody. So welcome back to another week of the Sweet Spot Podcast. I've got a special guest this week, Sushii. In the house. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
man.
you bet.
Glad to be here.
You bet. So yeah, we were just talking about Shaw at the barbershop. What's up?
His experience.
Well, normally, if you've been to the barbershop's like therapy for me. I go every single Wednesday, no matter what.
Yeah.
And my barber's, an OG. He's a little bit older, but by older I mean like 40s, 50s. He's not that old.
Mario.
Yeah.
Careful.
And he's. And he's just, man, he's open-minded. His insights are, pretty cool. So I go at 12 o'clock every Wednesday. It's normally just him and another barber. And today, normally they play music. Today I got him to play the Joe Rogan podcast with Kanye.
Mm. Wow.
And you would never have seen a barbershop that quiet. Like they were really watching. I was like, "Oh my god!"
You can basically control the whole barbershop.
Yeah, it was really weird, but it was cool to see because most people don't like Kanye, but me personally, after I watched that interview, I'm actually a fan.
Yeah,
he said a lot of stuff that was very. He's an intelligent guy.
Has to be.
Yeah,
and it's like you only make it so far. You can't like you gotta think logically. You can't get that far with being a dumbass. Quote unquote.
True.
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Oh, it's 3 hours long.
They all are. All Joe Rogans are 3 hours. I think the last one I listened to was the Post Malone.
He's making crazy money, by the way. Like, I think he got a deal from Spotify or some shit, like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. He just moved to Texas, moved everything here. So.
Yeah.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
It's going up.
He's in Austin, I think.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. So, Sushii, welcome.
Yes, sir.
What, what do you call it? You're a rapper, you're an artist,
I would call myself an artist.
You're an
Because I do a
artist.
little bit of both. R&B, rapping.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more into producing, but, I know what I want to hear when it comes to producing. So I would just say artist.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know you before we invited you on the show. These guys were the ones that said we got to get this guy on. So,
oh yeah.
Jeff, believe it or not, he's in his late 40s, but believe it or not, he's pretty up to date with music.
Yeah, that's dope.
Don't give me
As
too
you
much
should
credit.
be.
Like he was Post Malone last Halloween.
Yeah.
And you were a good Post Malone.
I was a good Post Malone.
That was insane.
Yeah. Well, I love Post Malone. I'll have to flash up a picture of my Post Malone costume.
You
right?
should have did it this year. He got tattoos on his head now and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was hard enough like last year getting them all on. I can't imagine. I could shave my head.
He didn't have the head tattoos at that point?
I don't think so. He
No, I
just
don't-
shaved his head
no,
recently.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. And it was like 2 years ago that it was just, just what was on his face. I don't, if he had something on his head, he had hair.
I remember you had this tat.
Yeah,
And then you
Yeah,
had
I think
nails.
It was on the right side, I think.
I had all of them.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I painted my
very
nails,
accurate.
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I got a grill.
Oh,
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. That was a fun costume.
What'd y'all do this year?
What did I do?
I know what
this
we were
year?
supposed to.
No, I did a rehash of something I did a few years back, which was Woody from Toy Story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just got like a $20 costume off Amazon. I was like,
Oh, y'all
sitting
dressed
on a
up.
dragon.
I just literally meant what y'all did, but y'all dressed up. Okay.
I didn't. I know we had plans actually.
Yeah,
It
we
was
did.
crazy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we had plans, but
go up.
I ended up not doing anything, which is crazy. I really, really wanted to, and you hit me up last minute, and I was like, man, I might just do it, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, I was up against going to Miami or Houston. That's why I had hit you up, but I was just like, man, I'll stay home. Fuck
Yeah.
it. There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. But yeah, I've known Sushii, believe it or not, since high school.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't really know each other in high school. I mean, I knew of you.
Yeah, we knew of each other, but once we got out of, high school.
Something I'll clear up. Were y'all in choir together?
I was in choir.
I was in choir too, but he was.
But he wasn't lip syncing?
I think my senior year, I stopped choir so I can play football because I was good at football. So I was just like, fuck singing at the time. I can catch on you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
I was just like, forget singing at the time. I was in love with football. So
that's cool.
if you're in there my senior year, I probably didn't see you.
No, I was. Well, you were a senior when I was a freshman, I want to say.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely was.
But yeah, we got really close after high school. So I'm actually really excited to have you on. There's a lot of stuff that, we've spoken about, but I haven't really got to pick your brains on. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here. Like I said earlier, man.
And CJ's a music head as well, so I'm excited to see what he has in store too.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with the name Sushii?
It's a very long story, but to keep it short, at the time, like I said, I was really good at football. And people called me A-Train. I'd run people over and shit. But at the time, I was in 8th grade, and my aunt, she works for IBM, so she used to travel a lot. And she came back this one time, and she was just telling me about her trip. She had went to Tokyo, to Japan, and she was telling me I actually have family there. So I have a cousin she's Japanese and black. She doesn't know any English. She's actually a Olympian. So cool. I was finding out all this stuff, and at the time I was like, well, I'm making music, I'm doing football, but I don't want to confuse the two. And I was eating sushi. I was just like, man, this is different. Like, people aren't going to expect, for me to be named Sushii or anything like that.
Right.
Because at the time, people didn't even fucking like sushi. It's like, I feel like recently it's a whole craze about sushi. Like, I'm like, what the fuck did this come from? Yeah. But yeah, and I was just like correlating the two, me being raw at sports and music myself, which I thought. So I was just like, man, I'm going to take this name, and I ran with it. People just started calling me Sush.
So you had two personas. You had your A-Train, and you had Sushii, and now you're just Sushii.
No, I'm just Sushii. I still love football. I miss football, but yeah,
cool.
It's my life now.
That's cool.
It's a pretty dope story. That's dope.
Heck yeah. I haven't been to Japan, though.
I so want to go to Japan.
Yeah, I do. I was going to go, and then Corona happened. I went to China to visit my ex-girlfriend. She was a teacher out there. So I got to travel and go out there for like a month. So that was cool.
How was that? Like, what specific stuff did you see that was different there?
So what's different is you have to take toilet paper everywhere. So
what?
Dang.
Yeah. So
you carry it on you.
You have to carry it on you, because if you go to the restaurant, or if you need to wipe your hands off or use the restroom, like, you can't, because they don't have it available unless it's like a extremely nice restaurant. So everywhere in China, like, you have to carry your toiletries and fucking a charger, because it's like New York, it's a big city. Well, I was in Shanghai. So it looks like New York times 10. Yeah. And, like, if you're out exploring, like, your phone's going to die. So you got to have tissue and the fucking battery charger.
It's so weird. So they just being cheap? Like, they don't want to pay for the toilet paper?
I don't know why they did it. I actually have to look it up. But, like...
Yeah, are they just trying to be clean, where if everybody brings...
clean... I don't know. I'm really not sure.
In Dubai...
It's weird.
It's the opposite. In Dubai, there's people that get paid to stand outside your stall, like multiple people.
What the fuck?
And as soon as you leave, they make sure it's spotless.
Like a pit crew, they come in
lit.
and they
it's insane. I was like, I've experienced that at the airport, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I love clean restrooms.
Oh yeah, dude, it was amazing.
So wait, I've never seen a picture of this. Like, I've never seen a picture of somebody, like a bunch of people walking down the sidewalk in Shanghai holding toilet paper. So
yeah,
it's in the backpack. It's in like a special toilet paper fanny pack.
Maybe when I was there the whole time, I had a fanny pack or a backpack, and like I said, my ex-girlfriend was there, and she was just telling me everything that she's been going through, and I was just like, this is different. And I'm like, you're lying. Like, they're gonna have it somewhere, but like, I think one place had it, and it was a nice place.
Are you carrying a roll? Or are you just like taking a shot? Just take as much as you think you're gonna need. You know how you get those
little, if you're traveling, you got the Kleenex little things. Yeah.
All right. So apparently, they used to provide toilet paper, but within the last 10 years, they found that supplies were quickly exhausted.
And what made this so funny is during, Corona recently, and all the toilet paper was going up. It's like, this is like,
oh my God.
The correlation is crazy.
People would use their own toilet paper more sparingly than they would use like the public toilet paper. That's weird.
I don't know. And like, everything's cheap. So like, I think I went with maybe $3,000. I stayed for a whole month. I still had money left, and I did a lot of shit, you know? So, like, it's crazy. I think, my ex, like, she was paying $70 a month to stay in a nice apartment. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, the ratio is, like, really crazy.
All right, guys. I'm moving.
Yeah. It's cool. And look, like, a lot of Americans that I met there, they stayed there. They were like, yeah, I came here to teach English or something like that. And, like, I just ended up staying. I'm like, wow, like, you're brave. But I also do get it, It's not like I thought I was going to go there and, like, not know where to go or anything like that. But it's, like, real Americanized, like, same food kind of.
So you could get around with speaking English, no problem?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like New York, you're going on subways and everything like that. So at least the part I was in Shanghai. I didn't go out anywhere else, farmland or anything like that. I was in the city. So, but everything's cheap. I mean, you can get places. It was like one place I didn't know what was on the menu, but I used the app and they told me. So
that's cool.
Yeah, you can function there.
Dang, that takes some courage to go out there for a month.
No,
not even moving out there. I don't think I would do that.
I was more nervous, like, because that was my first time taking a long plane ride. It was 20 hours. So I was just like, and I stopped in Canada on my way back. So I don't know. It was cool though. I would recommend you go to China or Shanghai. So
I want to go to Japan.
Yeah, Japan's cool.
Yeah.
You gotta go to Dubai.
I heard it was cool too.
Yeah, it has to be on the bucket list.
All right, so Sushii, tell me, how did you get started in music? Football, I get. It's in school.
Yeah.
How'd you get into?
So I'm originally from Arkansas, so Little Rock. My whole family sings basically, choir, just sing, on some country on the porch type shit. But that's really where it started. Just me listening to blues with my grandma, singing songs, just finding out that people like my voice, actually being annoyed, because they'll make me sing and shit. At first, I didn't really like it when I was a kid. So, but I would say my childhood, really. I was just around it. My grandma sung in the choir, church choir, stuff like that. And then once I got into school, I was in choir from first grade till my junior year of high school, so.
Yeah, that's cool. So then, like, I can't sing. I don't want to assume a lot of people can sing, but then, like, how do you transition?
Everybody can sing. That's what I would say.
No, he can't sing.
And I know I can't sing.
Hey, no, trust me, I can't sing.
It's a muscle. It's like working out, man. Y'all work out.
So you're telling me, like, I can't sing, but you're telling me if I started taking voice lessons, all of a sudden, I'd be able to sing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to hold a note. I mean,
can't.
Your definition, that's kind of subjective to say, oh, well, you can sing good. I mean, somebody may think you can sing well. So
No, I'm pretty sure nobody thinks I can sing well. Because, like, I don't even know how you make your voice do a lot of those things, and it just seems like...
It's muscle memory.
So now, was that, like, just natural, though? Or did you actually take classes and lessons and all that?
And that's another reason why I don't tell people this, but that's another thing I incorporated into my name, because it's like at one point in my life I was just like, wow, I actually can sing, but it's not. I wasn't really like trying,
Right.
I went to choir, but it was just a class.
You were just in there. I already know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I really don't know. I would just say my family continuously bugging me to sing at family reunions and shit like that is what like got me into like, okay. Actually, like even when I make music my first couple of times, I was just like, I just like doing this.
Yeah. And so what kind of inspired you to get into the music? You obviously you could sing, but like what was either the first song, first album, or like what made you want to get into it?
Me and my friend Lars, I don't know if you ever met Lars. He's he went to Creekview with us, but he was into music before I was. I mean, not. I wouldn't say that. He was into like the digital part of music, you know, producing and you know, just I don't know, YouTube and stuff. Like right when I started making music, YouTube was like just now booming.
Right.
You know, we were in like elementary school, and I was a big Wayne fan, and Lars was. He didn't really listen to music, rap music.
Okay.
He really actually hated Lil Wayne. So, but I linked up with him, and that's when I just started recording. We were like second grade, third grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang,
Oh, wow.
that's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, we're just trying shit out, you know.
Dang.
And he stuck with it more than I did. Throughout like school, like I said, I played football, so I always put singing on the back burner. Honestly, when it came to that, because I don't know, I just love football. You know, we're in Texas and stuff like that, best football in America. So that's what I was going through. But yeah, we just started making music, third, fourth grade, rapping. At the time, I was just doing it as a hobby. And then once high school came, I dropped out. I mean, I got out of high school. I went to college to play football for a little bit. That didn't work out. And then I just started doing shows and shit in Dallas. And that's really when my career took off. So
what's like your process when you're, you know, making a project or something like that? Is it the same process, or is it you change it up?
It's not really the same. I tell people a lot, like, I'm not your artist that goes into the studio every day. You know, I don't even think that's like healthy. You know? So I really write when I'm inspired. So a lot of the stuff I go through is my life, you know. I can't really, that's kind of why I stopped rapping, because, you know, I wouldn't rap about shit that I don't do.
Yeah.
Or like cars and shit like that.
Right.
Like, I don't know. And it was easier for me to, you know, talk to women because it's actually something I do, you know. Yeah. So it's way easier for me to do R&B. But the rapping will come back, you know. But you know, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No, it was just
my process.
Yeah, your process.
But my process, like, I really don't have a process, you know. It's just like, if I feel good, then we're recording. Like, usually if I hear a beat, I'll like it within the first, you know, a couple minutes. If not, I just move on. And if I don't find anything that day, I just leave. You know,
you chilling still afterwards.
Yeah.
When you create, is it everything that your experiences, or do you also piggyback off things that you've seen or, you know, heard people go through, or is it just all your experiences? So
that's something I'm actually working on when it comes to my writing. Like I said, I like to do. Well, actually, I do everything that I've actually done, but I'm trying to write from a different perspective. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You know how you got like Kendrick. You know, he raps from, you know, a prostitute's perspective, or you know, a drug dealer's perspective. Okay. You know, and that takes skill to do that. So I mean, that's something I'm working on. But for right now, it's just about me. You know. Yeah,
that Kendrick Lamar song, was it "Don't Sing About Me" or
"Sing About Me"?
About Me. Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones because of that reason.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love Kendrick. He's dope.
Yeah, you said when you hear a beat, are you making these beats, or is someone else like?
Unfortunately, not. I need to. That's another thing I'm working on too. But no, my friend Lars, who I mentioned earlier, he's still my producer, my main producer. Or I have a bunch of friends who are producers in LA and stuff like that. So. But no, I don't make beats. So
they just send you just something to listen to and see if you like it?
They'll send it to me. And going back to your question, most of the time, I'd rather me be in the room with you while you're making it. That way, like, we're just vibing. And it makes for a better song. But, I mean, I could still write a song if you send me the beat. And it'll take me all day because I like to spend my time. It'll either take me 30 minutes or it'll take me all day. Basically.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah, I can't imagine writing a song like from scratch because there's so much to it.
It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I feel like it's just like ideas coming from the sky.
You just grab them as you go.
Yeah, but I mean, there's I don't know all the fancy names, but there's, you know, the bridge and the chorus and all these other and all the verses. Like, did you study like how to structure a song, or just it's something that
not
is
really
pretty
until
natural?
now. And my friend I listen to Lars. I'm gonna mention him a lot because he's a big part of my career, and like I just listen to him on most things. If you like this song, if you don't, blah blah blah. But yeah, in a sense, you're supposed to write like that, but I don't. I'm not like thinking like, damn, like let me make this, let me make this. Usually I'll go in the studio, I'll hear the beat, and they'll play the beat, and I'll mumble. I'll mumble until I figure something out. And it may be the hook, or it may be the verse that I'm mumbling first. And then once I figure that out, then I'll go back and say, all right, now we need a verse, or now we need a hook, or...
Okay.
But
when you say mumbling, what do you're just like humming?
I think he's just kind of finding
just,
that tone. That
just like it's a tone. It's just finding a tone.
Okay.
Like the first 20 minutes is all mumbling.
Dude, that'd be cool to watch.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool to watch.
No, it's fun. It's fun. Like most, and like I don't think like people understand that, because like people hear like Young Thug and they're like, man, he doesn't fucking make sense. It's because he's recording it his first take, and it's not gonna make sense. It's his ideas. Usually people take those ideas and rewrite it, but he's not rewriting anything. Like it's his first idea. So and it sounds great too. I like Young Thug. So, but most of the jibber jabber is like his first take. So
you said something that kind of resonated with me, pretty much mentioning that you listen to Lars. I feel like most people, when it comes to business, maybe even musicians and artists, they're not open-minded enough to listen. They need creative control. So I know creative control is important, but how much more important is it to be open-minded at the same time?
I would say I take advice from people who I know I should take advice from.
Yeah. Because
if it was somebody else coming in and like telling me something, I may take offense to it. If I feel like you're not like in that position to tell me, I won't like say like fuck you or anything like that. But I'll probably block it out. Yeah. Me personally, I know like what Lars has done and what he can do and all the time that we've worked. So. Yeah, I always listen to him, Like, I feel like you need people like that in your corner. He'll tell me no. He'll tell me, like, hey, this sucks, or this, like, I don't like this, And he doesn't have the final decision, but he has a big, he's a big reason why I make certain decisions.
Yeah. So, other question I had was, prior to music, I know you said football was a big part of your life. Was that the plan? Or... what was your profession? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I always knew I'd be either or.
Football or music?
But in my head, I'm thinking like, because I played running back, and the reason why I'm not playing is like a big reason why I was thinking, because it's like I can sing longer than I play football, because eventually I'm gonna get hurt or something, or I might just have to stop. So that was my main thing. So when I stopped playing football, I was kind of depressed, down and stuff like that. But, actually music helped me out with that. So, I don't know. I always felt like I'd do either or. I just knew I wouldn't, like, settle for not doing either or. So.
Well, I mean, what you just said is a big reason why I actually wanted you on the podcast was essentially because you don't settle. Like, that little business decision that you just made when you were a kid, being able to sing longer than you can play football. Most people don't make that decision. Yeah. Like I was telling Jeff and CJ, you're big into business, big into entrepreneurship, into the stock market. Where did all that come from? Because it's not common in music.
No, I definitely get that. And it comes from a lot of different places. I can go on all day about how important it is to be... financially literate when you're an artist, because it's like, especially me, I feel like being an artist, you have to find a lot of time to make free time for yourself to be creative. So that wanting of free time is what led me to research all this stuff, to be like, hey, how do people make money the easy way? Rather than me working hard, and just doing it the smart way. So that was a big thing. My aunt, she really inspired me. She worked for IBM. She went to Oklahoma. That's why I like OU. If you didn't know, Boomer Sooner. Yeah, and she didn't necessarily know what she was doing, but I remember in middle school she bought me some Nike stock. It wasn't even a lot. I think it was just like one share, like $30 or some shit like that. But and I asked her recently, like years later, I'm like, so what's up with that stock? You know, she's like, oh, I sold it. I'm like, what the fuck? But so I definitely learned more about it once I realized that, you know, like a lot of people are making money from this, but like a lot of people don't know. So I'm like the type of person, like I have a fear of missing out. So that also led me to like think about, damn, I could be making money this way and this way and this way, and I'm not, or like other people don't realize this and stuff like that. So, and it's just the power of reading, you know. So during research and stuff like that. So I don't know. Once I started doing one thing, it just led me to the other. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's seeing your Instagram stories. I'm sure CJ sees them too. You're just very vocal about it, and you're a big advocate for the stock market. So.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like people our age, you know, and especially in my demographic, they don't like, it's not something they think about, you know, and it's just
at
like,
all.
Yeah, at all. And it's like, it's a huge problem, you know. I had a friend in California, he's Jewish, and we were walking through these nice ass houses, and he was just talking to me about like a wealth gap, you know, between, you know, race and stuff like that. And that's another thing that recently got me like what the fuck? Because it's just like, it is like a huge gap in like, especially the knowledge that we have, and just certain things we aren't taught. And I think those are the things that I wanted to learn the most, you know, like stuff that I felt like I was being deprived from. So.
Well, I'm kind of like you. I dropped out of college as well, and like you said, the reason why I dropped out was there's just a lot of stuff I wasn't taught I was taught things that, you know, I probably more than likely wouldn't be using. No hard feelings to the people that did go to college.
Exactly.
You know,
I would always tell everybody to go to college.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of people. I met some great people. They're still my friends today that helped me actually make money, you know. So I don't think college is a bad place. I would never say that, but I would also say, you know, just learn on your own. Because I found myself, I went to Oklahoma State. I was paying like $17,000 a semester, like, but I was looking up all my answers up on the internet. So
that's literally the exact reason I dropped out of school, because I was like, if I'm not going for free, I don't personally think it's worth it. And when I was going to class, that's what I was doing. I was just cheating. So I was like, wait.
And that's what everybody else is doing.
And they're actually doing that. And my thing was like, I'm not about to pay for a piece of paper and to cheat myself through this. And part of the reason, like I was telling Jeff, we were never taught how to learn.
Yeah.
They just throw us in there and they like study. No one ever taught me how to learn. I learned how to learn a year and a half ago when I read a book called Make It Stick.
Yeah.
And essentially it just helps you, you know, retain information better. Yeah. But that was my struggle in high school, college. I just couldn't retain information. But like I was saying, I'm the same way. I don't want to miss out on anything. You know what I mean? Like that's why during furlough or quarantine, you guys probably saw me golfing a lot. You know, I was like, I want to learn how to golf, Muay Thai. Like I just like to do a variety of things just to be able to experience it.
I think that makes you happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like and that's another thing that like actually looking up all this stuff and, you know, becoming more free, I guess you would say. It just makes me happy to think about, you know. I don't know.
So the people like that aren't like us, what was like the first resource besides your aunt? What was the first resource like in your adulthood that helped you like put it into action? Like what did you see that made you go, okay, I'm gonna hop into the stock market? You know what I mean? Like what was that first? What can people get to take that step?
I worked at Cowboys Fit for a minute, as you know, and I was just around a lot of wealthy people. I just think putting yourself in the right places, even if you feel like you shouldn't be there, or if you feel like, man, I'm not like, I don't have as much money as them, or I don't feel like I'm like them. I think you should still be uncomfortable in those spaces and like learn, because at the end of the day, it's not really like that. Most people aren't like I don't know. They aren't bad people. Like I obtained a lot of knowledge at Cowboys Fit from wealthy people. So I think that was my main thing. Like it showed me that having a good network is really important. Because I don't know, they just put you on a lot of game. So
Especially if you don't have a degree.
exactly.
You gotta have a good network.
Most of them that I met didn't, and it was just like, and that also made me think like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like everybody else tells me to go to college. Somebody's wrong.
Most people that make under $1 million will tell you to go to college, and all the millionaires and billionaires will tell you not to go to college.
And I think you said something earlier, but I don't know if we talked about this, but I would see like, older kids that I knew growing up who graduated, and like sometimes they ask me for money, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like you went to college, you did everything you're supposed to do, like what's going on? And it's just like, I don't know, I didn't want that for myself. Not that college would have gave me that, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't my main focus, and I think I was doing it for other people, so.
Yeah.
For my family and, just to be happy, but you can be happy in other ways, So.
It's true. It's a challenging decision to make because
it is.
Like my son goes to OU, so he's in his second year.
That's lit.
And I know he was struggling with that when he was in his senior year in high school because there's a lot of stuff you can read how college is a waste of money.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got the resources and a family that's going to back you, okay, so maybe. We'll take a shot at it, but if you don't have that, I can see how that's kind of hard to take on.
It's a free world, like you get out there and we got really focused. Like you're not at home anymore, It's easy to fuck it up. So.
You get to learn about yourself.
Exactly.
You find out. You really do find out. That's one thing I think I missed out on was just like learning about who I am. But I mean that's the beauty of America. You can choose. You can make it in this country without a degree, and you can make it with a degree. So props to your son for doing what
the best school ever.
Yeah, and it's been messed up too because he's gone pretty much through COVID, and like he's on campus, but he's doing almost everything online. So it's like the college experience I had is not the same as his.
Yeah.
Does tuition go down?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
And that's the kicker.
Nope.
You think they would say that?
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
Negative.
Man.
Paying for the experience too. So.
Oh yeah.
They could always throw that in.
Greatest school ever.
Yeah. So.
That's cool, man. OU's cool, man.
It is cool. It's a cool campus. It's we visited a lot of campuses before he decided where he wanted to go, and just something about OU, and we stepped on campus. It was just had a cool vibe.
Oh, yeah.
So
I just learned that OU has they have a tornado problem. I did not know that. I had no clue about this.
Tornado Alley.
They're like
Apparently I live in a
smack dab
cave.
in the middle of it. Yeah, they've got
crazy.
serious tornado shelters on.
Yeah, were you the one
campus.
that told me there's like a luxurious shelter?
Well, in
At
all
OU?
the dorms, it's got to house a lot of people.
That's how Kansas was too, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You went to KU?
We had like hella. No, a couple miles over. But yeah, we had like hella basements.
Really?
Yeah, hella basements. Matter of fact, my dorm was in the basement. Now I look back on it.
That's crazy.
Now that I think about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you want to be a meteorologist, you're probably heading up to OU to get that degree because you're going to see firsthand how it starts. So,
said my door was.
real talk. I'm not gonna
and
lie.
he just figured it out too. So I don't know what
My whole
that's
team
all
was
about.
in the basement. Now I think about it.
That's fucked up.
We was all down there.
So my next question for you would be, I personally am a big believer in for speaking from a perspective without a degree, I take a lot of advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I try to ask a lot of questions to, like you said, people better than me, people that are in positions. Like, to me, it's like, man, there's so many people that have the blueprint laid out,
Mm-hmm.
and like the books, like you said, you could read a whole biography about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Matthew McConaughey, you know, all these people, and they will literally tell you what their life was like and how they did it, even through adversity, and people still don't do it.
Nope.
You know, like
That's why I don't mind like me being on Instagram and me telling people like
yeah, because most
what to
people
do.
won't do it.
But the ones that do, I appreciate them.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, hey, like, you actually helped me get this stock, or you actually helped me
Yeah.
get this. And I really fucking appreciate that. But I know most people aren't going to, like, they're not going to do it.
I
It's
think
just
it-
like working out.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to how the person, where that person is in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're mature enough to take it and run with it. But I think everybody's different. It's not like there is a blueprint, but that same blueprint isn't going to work for everybody. They just have to
Yeah.
go through their own life and, like, you know,
Well, true.
their
But that's what I mean. I mean, there's no one blueprint, but that's what I do. I take everyone else's stories and I try to, like, I'll take something from Jeff, I'll take something from you, I'll take something from you, from, you know, no, even from people that, like, no one else would take advice from. There's might be one. My thing is, if you get one thing out of any situation, if you learn one new thing, it's mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can use that. One day, it's like muscle memory. One day, you'll be like, oh, wait, you know, I remember this. And
Yeah.
it'll help in that situation.
What's crazy is I've encountered that with, like, things that my dad would try to get me to understand. But I think it's one of those things too, like I said, if you're not ready, and then, like,
Yeah.
you know, my dad's been telling me this, dad's telling me that, and then when Father Time kicks in, a couple of years pass, when you're up to that mature level to understand and get what, you know, the older person was saying or whoever was telling you the advice, like, you start to understand more. But I think it definitely always comes back to just, like, living your own experiences.
Yeah.
So
Jeff, well, you have 2 kids. Were there any situations where, like, you gave them some advice and it was like, I told you so moment?
I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. That's not quite my parenting style. I
could tell.
I wasn't waiting to clobber them anytime they stepped out of line. I've always just said that, you know, a lot of the lessons, like, what you really learn in life is the stuff that hurts. Like, you don't learn a lot from doing everything right the first time. I mean, that's like, you can make some good decisions and get so far, but it really takes some bad decisions and the pain that comes behind those things to teach that lesson that anybody could tell you, hey, don't do this. And you're like, yeah, cool, I get it. But until you do or don't do that, and then you feel the stinger, then you're like, okay, I get it now. And that's the thing with the blueprint, CJ, you're onto it, is yeah, I can tell you all the steps. It's all the little tiny steps in between and the missteps and who you know and the networking and all those other things.
Not giving up. And,
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to it. So that's, I can't, I don't think I ever was just waiting around to give the I told you so speech to my kids. I don't know, they might be able to.
You seem more
they might
laid
say
back,
different.
more of a laid back parent.
I was just about boundaries, just respect boundaries, you know, make your own decisions, live and die by them. Like, but you're gonna have to make those decisions. And yeah, I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I think you should do. But at the end of the day,
you going to do what the fuck you
yeah,
want.
you are going to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
it is. And so, like, I might sit back and I might think I told you, I'm not going to say that though. Because then you resent that person. Like, I don't want a mentor or a parental figure that just is like, see,
Told you so.
told you so.
Yep.
because I know there's
Like, I
some
don't-
stubborn kids like me, and I'm like, all right, I saw it worked, but because you,
I'm gonna try it this
I'm
way.
gonna try it this way.
Yeah.
They do it again the wrong way, like,
Yeah.
so. It's always that one kid.
Yeah.
No, really.
I think you got to do it wrong to get it right.
Oh yeah, it's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important to fuck up.
Yeah. So I kind of want to shift back to the music if you don't mind,
Yeah,
because
that's
I don't know. I just think it's pretty cool. I love music. I mean, I'm usually listening to music if I'm by myself, and I'm just kind of fascinated by people that can do that. You know, like, do you know how to play any instruments?
I used to play the saxophone. I don't know
That's
how
cool.
to anymore.
My son played the saxophone too. Yeah. Oh, we got a connection here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, like when I watch somebody play the piano or the guitar.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Like I am amazed by that stuff because I can't do it. I don't know. I've touched both a guitar and a piano, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So the creative process there is fascinating to me. So, have you ever written a song, or like while you're making a song, you just know this is going to be just a badass song? Or is it you kind of have to wait till it's all done and you hear the final?
So I don't know, cause like I'm always on the hunt for the next song. Me personally, I'll make a song one night, and if I think it's really good, like I'll play it, I'll wear it out in that night. You know, I'll listen to it, continue to listen to it, but I don't know. I like to let people decide. Because some of the songs that I think are great, people don't think are great. And like the ones that I don't think are great, people think are great.
So true. That's weird. It's so true. I'm a photographer. And there'll be times where I shoot something and I got the pictures. I'm like, oh man, they're going to love this. These pictures are awesome. And then they come back with the pictures they want to buy or whatever. I'm like, what? Did you not see all the pictures? Because like those are terrible. Yeah. And it's funny how your perspective and what you think is great, and it just doesn't jive with what your clients or your listeners or whoever, what they're seeing. And so it's just, I agree. That's
why it's
really
always
strange.
Good to take advice, like we were talking about earlier, because it's just like, I don't know.
But I wouldn't have changed my process if I had different advice. It's just
True.
You have people that are going to like one song, and then other people are going to like another song. So
yeah, you can't please them all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I think that's why, like, what y'all obviously considered art, what you do is art, what you do is art too. So the listeners, like, they're viewing it, the art in their own perspective. You know what I'm saying? So for you with music, it's what they hear, what they feel. For you, it's what they see, and they might feel different things. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because I think I'm looking at the artistic part of it, and they're probably looking at their smile or their face or their arm or something that they are insecure about, and they're putting that on top of.
And I think people listen to music for different reasons.
That too.
Yeah.
Because I can make like the best fucking song ever, but like some people may like the simplest song with a great melody. Or like just people just like different shit. That's why I just think it's always great to make a lot of music, because I mean somebody's gonna like it.
Yeah.
So let's say I start out rapping, right? And I'm just recording. How much music do you think like artists sit on? Is it a lot?
A lot. Like
Really?
There's a lot of songs that probably won't ever get released. There's a lot of
like over 200-300?
No.
Okay.
I mean, some people though. Like if you're pushing out that many records in a year, I know Kalani, when she was doing her project, I think a couple of months ago, or maybe my months may be off. It could have been a year ago, but it was like, I think she had like 50 songs, but you only can choose 17.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of songs get thrown out, or you can sell them, or you can
save them.
Oh, you're saving, yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, a lot of music. You just gotta keep doing it. I think gotta make at least 100 songs to make one good one. That's what I say.
That is the truth.
So.
I don't know about singing, but I know because I went through. I was an advertising major in college, and so in one of my first advertising classes, we had to do like 500 thumbnails before we could even pick one to go off of, just to get through all the cliches and all the boring stuff to get to the creative part of it. So you do. And I mean, when I look at like my website, I don't know how many pictures I have on my website, not a ton, but I've shot hundreds of thousands of pictures to have, 40, 50 pictures on my website. The ones that I think are worthy of being on my website. So, yeah, I get it. How many songs do you think you've written?
Maybe like 100.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
How many have you
like
recorded?
I said, I don't write like every day.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, some people write every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like I know people who write every day. But I couldn't I don't know. I did that when I moved to LA for a whole summer. And it was cool. Sometimes you get a good song, sometimes it's like a waste of time. Counterproductive, and you just like, I don't like this type. And I don't ever want to feel that way. That's why I don't force it, you know.
So it sounds like you try to, instead of going every day, you're trying to like get in a sweet spot.
I'm trying to vibe, yeah. I'm trying to vibe. Most of the music that I make, like I said, I experienced it. So it's a lot about relationships or shit I've been through. So if I'm in that mood and in that vibe, then...
Could you tell us what your studio experience was when you made Know That?
Know
that
That?
Was it? Yeah, that was
so
one of my favorite
that's
ones.
a great example of like me not knowing what the fuck.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, me and Lars was like, man.
Hey, that's funny because that's like literally my favorite. That's my favorite song. And you didn't even know what she was.
Honestly, that was my transition into me going back to R&B. Because when I was a kid, I sang a lot with my family, like I told you, blues and shit like that. And then once I got older, it was just straight rap because that's what I was just into, wanting to be cool and shit. But once it got to know that, I was like, man, this shit is whack. Like we're at a whole bunch of shows with all dudes and shit, and it's like that's not what I really want to do.
We spoke about this recently.
Oh, for real?
Where so we were talking about it's just an interesting perspective to me. Like I personally probably wouldn't go to an R&B concert, but like more guys should be going to more R&B concerts
because
right? It's like the weirdest thing, but
is that like being a male cheerleader?
Well,
for the same reasons.
All the girls are there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all the girls are there. Now, rap concerts, it's depending on who it is. I mean, if it's like Drake, you'll see a variety of people.
And that was my perspective because it was like at this time we had opened up for Young Thug, Soulja Boy, and stuff like that, like rapping. I was with a group called Five Side, and my homie Slim, RIP, and my homie Devin. You know Devin. He called himself Nobody, but that's what we're doing for a little bit. And I was just like, this is cool, but I need more women in the mix, So I just went back to the R&B, and at that time I was like, man, like I don't know if shit is working, but I'm gonna still keep going. Like I'm gonna still keep doing it. And then I went and made the song with Lars. I was like, hey, this song's actually kind of good, but I was like, I don't know, we're gonna see. So we just randomly put it out on my birthday. It wasn't any plan or anything like that, and it just caught fire, I guess.
And would you say like that was the song that like kind of made you keep going with it? That was the one.
Definitely, because
that was the wake up call.
No, yeah, because I'm being honest with you, I was like, I don't know if I really like this, and it was a lot of things to go through, because. Right now, I feel like I've came far. I feel like I have an engineer that I like. I made my own way for me to record. I bought my own studio. So, like, I made sure I did all that. But at the time, I didn't have all that. So I was, just kind of discouraged. But, yeah, that song just saved my career in a sense. But I don't think it's the best song I've made. But people do. So.
Right.
That's probably my favorite song.
Yeah,
for sure.
So... But
appreciate it.
My question, like, what did you have people around you, like friends, family, or whatever it may be, like dudes? Because obviously, like you said, like rappers, that's like hard. When you chose the R&B route, like, what was the reaction like? Did you have people that were like, "What the fuck"?
If they didn't know me,
really?
So they'll go to the show, and like after the show, they're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? I thought you were gonna rap." I'm like, no. I'm actually up here singing. So, but that's one thing I got from it. But other than like my close friends, like no, because I've always knew how to sing.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it, you know, because I feel like I know how to rap too. So, and I'm not against it. It's just like nowadays rap is more, you know, a flashy thing, and I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah.
But maybe if I'm feeling like, you know, in a J. Cole mood one day, you may hear some bars from me, but like that's not my, you know, main goal, you know. Right now I'm just focusing on the R&B and stuff like that. But
You think rap is oversaturated?
yes, and that was another reason I went to the R&B side.
Put yourself in a different lane.
Different lane. Because I knew I could do both. And I knew if I separate myself in one of them, I can get in with both of them, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was my whole thing. The only thing about singing is it's harder, you know, because it's like I can't just go and like record with anybody, you know, because I'm singing, the notes have to be right. I have to pay for certain engineering that I think is up to par, you know. With rapping, you know, I can find somebody to mix it. You can get by.
Yeah.
So that it's a give and take when you're switching over. But yeah, I really want to. That's my next focus, you know, because I still have a lot of music left that I made. Because most of the time, what I do is if I put out music, I already have other music ready. So like the EP that I put out is more of a part A to something I already have like done. So there'll be more music after this.
So what's the next step? Like, what do we expect? Album, another EP?
It'll probably be another EP, and then my plan is to take a couple songs from this previous one and the one that I'm about to drop, and just re-drop it. You know, because I feel like in this game, it's like right now in music you can do a lot by yourself. So I'm just gonna put a lot of money behind the songs that I know for sure that people like. So it's like a test thing. I think what is his name? Russ did the same thing. I think he dropped a song like every day.
Oh, yeah.
1 year or some shit like that. Every week or something like that.
You just got to put content out.
And people will come back. If they really fuck with you, they'll go back and go through everything, you know? And then the numbers will catch up. So that's really my plan.
The process.
Yeah, that's my plan. Put out quality music and continue. Even if it doesn't do numbers right now, you know, my plan is for it to do numbers later.
So, like you said, you know, a lot of the challenging part is just the rapping is easier on the engineering side than the singing side. So, the more people that are involved, does that make it harder? Because like Parking Lot is my favorite song, and I know you got a lot of people involved in that. Is that harder to put together?
So that song I actually didn't make recently. I made that song like 2 years ago. Shout out to my homie Drama. But I felt like it, like what I said is like I plan to re-drop things that I think are good songs. So that was a good song that I re-dropped. It wasn't under mine at first. It was under another artist, and I just put it on the EP because I thought it was a great song. I thought it fit. Thought it was a good ender. So
yeah, that's a good song.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all a process, you know. I feel like it's like a lifestyle, you know. So it's not something.
It's like any other job.
Yeah, it's not. You're not gonna wake up and. I mean, sometimes, but most of those artists, they've been working for a long time. Like, you're not gonna wake up and just be like, "Oh, you got it. You got everything." So.
Are you guys in the studio on the same day, or is this something like you lay your track down and somebody comes in later and?
So with this process, I recorded it with my homie Frank. He stays in Irving, so he's my recording engineer. So basically, he'll record me. We'll get a rough of how it sounds, and we'll send those roughs off to different engineers. And this time, I was playing with the engineers because I had one engineer from LA who did most of it. Shout out to Eric. He did most of it. He works for Pulse. It's like a publishing company. So he did most of it, and I had a guy in Dallas named Trey. He's won a couple Grammys, do one song on it, the first song. So they're mixed by different people. And
wow.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. So that was another thing that I'm testing a lot. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, who I should go with if I did make an album on my own. Because I plan on to do a lot of things on my own. I don't want to like necessarily be signed or anything like that. So yeah, it's just like a lot of trial and error that I have to go through, really. So
Is there a particular artist that you aspire to work with or get as a feature or be a feature?
there's a lot, man. I love music.
If you had to pick one.
Drake.
Mm.
But I feel like that's cliche. I would say Brent Faiyaz
Okay.
for my true answer.
Cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get into him. I don't
Really?
know why.
Oh yeah, he's pretty.
I'm probably
dope.
just
He's
not
definitely
listening to the
different.
right.
He's definitely different.
He's different. I like, cause me, I don't like. I mean, I don't care, but like, I don't like certain R&B. You know, I'm not the R&B.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm not the R&B like whining R&B like when it sounds like I don't know. I'm more into alternative R&B, and that's what Brent Faiyaz is to me. He's telling you something, but he's also being G about it. He's being a player about it. Like it's not like I don't know. Just whining R&B, like I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Where are you looking for music to take you? Like, what's your, I guess to say sweet spot, pretty much with music? If you could take it there, where would it be, or what are you looking for from music?
Me personally, like I said earlier, I want to be in all areas. So I want to be able to rap and be at the top of my rap career, and be at the top of R&B career. It's just like I just want to make the perfect balance. That's really my goal right now, is to make the perfect balance, and just to actually, it's just cool to see projects come together.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what really motivates me. It's just to seeing like, hey, this went from nothing to something. So,
what's one of the things that you would probably appreciate most when you're making music, besides, of course, getting paid for it and stuff like that?
I appreciate like the journey. Like, me hanging out with certain people that I appreciate them being there. We're all like chasing the same goal. I'm a big team player, so I like to see other people win, especially if they feel like that they weren't really important. Sometimes you got like people in your team and stuff like that, like they just feel like they're not a big aspect. So I feel like I like to make people feel like you are important. Like you're one of the reasons like this song sounds good or this. So that's a cool thing for me, and just making people happy once you get the finished project, and it's just like, oh, I didn't even think you'd like that, but you do, and it's like it's just cool to find out, and I don't know, you make the next one, hope for the same thing and more people.
But that's a great leadership trait that you have. Is that part of the reason you started your own label? That way you can manage people and really be able to lead people and inspire?
No, yeah, definitely, because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've dealt with a lot as far as like being in the music industry. I just recently started like actually being in the industry, like knowing people who are big time producers or like stuff like that. And I think that's cool. And I think like everybody doesn't get to see certain things that I've seen. So if I always want to, relay that message, if there's something that they shouldn't be doing, or maybe you should be doing this, I don't know, I like to help people, because I've gotten a lot of help. I would never say I didn't. So I feel like it's just only right.
So I've got kind of an interesting question. So obviously you've got fans. What's the coolest thing a fan has ever done for you or given you, or
we're gonna we'll keep this okay. Coolest thing a fan has ever done.
So now I can't think of nothing now.
I gotta X that out.
All right, there we go. That's the answer. I got the answer.
No, but some cool things, like I have like some people who stay in Korea. Like I think that's the coolest shit ever.
Oh wow.
No, yeah, like I talk to them all the time. So it's just like, I think the relationship and like them like sticking around, and like even if everything isn't crazy, there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of people who can entertain certain people. So the fact that that I have people who stick by me is super cool to me. So that's I guess the main gift.
Got it.
What a great answer.
Got it.
That answer was too good.
So we all know what the real answer. We know what he said. We all know what the real answer is.
Yeah.
Oh, so let me just ask you this: what other rappers and musicians say, like, happens to them is all that true?
Yeah.
Like the gifts they receive and all that.
Yeah. It's very true. I mean, it's just like I feel like everybody has their person. You know, like. There's so many people in the world. That's why I don't think it's cool for like artists to hate on each other or anything like that, because it's just like there's so many people. There's people with millions of plays, of real plays that you've never heard of, and like I just think that's cool. That's a cool factor of it. You have streaming now, so you can inspire anybody.
That's the weirdest thing to me. Like most people won't spread information. Like that's what, again, I'm super interested by you because, you know, we're close, but you're just so different from every musician. Like you are open to spreading information. Like, as you know, I've been managing a rapper who's trying to become a rapper, and you and Lorando were one of the first two people I reached out to, with no doubt in my mind, because I've never done this before. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in business, so I can kind of get by, but I don't know, like, the ins and outs. And y'all two literally had no issue, you know, answering my questions. Yeah. While most people are afraid to, you know, pass information along because they're like, man, they're going to catch up to me, this and that. Especially, like you said, great examples like artists hating art, like, other artists. It just makes zero sense to me.
Yeah. It's just a waste of time and energy, you know, to even think like that. And it's just like, I've always had, growing up, going back to sports, I always had guys who would go to practice and be like, yeah, man, I'm going to start this week. Like, all the time. I'm going to start this year. Like, you ain't going to start. I'm like, whatever. And I didn't care because I knew I worked harder than them. Mm-hmm. Like, and at the end of the day, that's all I care about. I know I'm going to work. Yeah, I can tell you whatever, you know, but who says that you're going to do it? Who says you're as determined as me? So, I mean, and it doesn't really matter, you know, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. You know, like I said, there's so many people in this world. If you're worried about that, if you're worried about, like, not having enough fans and shit like that, you don't have to worry about that.
So what was the single most important piece of business advice that you received?
Giving. Giving. And it makes a lot of sense. It's just, I don't know. Business is like I said, it's all about who you know. So, like, giving, I feel like, goes into nurturing relationships and just, I don't know, just being a good person. Like, I feel like I'm a naturally good person, so most of that shit comes easy to me. And I don't know, but I think that's the main thing, because there's a lot of people who didn't have to help me, you know? And, like, I'm going to remember that. Mm-hmm. If I'm ever, you know, in a position to help them, I'm going to help them. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll take you a long way in business, you know? Just making sure you're a good person.
That's solid right there, because, I mean, when I think back at my career, you know, when I was young, I was just trying to get it. You know, I was hustling, and I was all about me. And when I think back, I've had more successes when I've been trying to help others get to where they want to go. And when you focus on that, your impact is just multiplied. Instead of you just worried about you worry about other people, you help other people, your impact is just multiplied. So that's pretty cool stuff right there.
But is that learned? I feel like I'm pretty selfish.
I don't know. I think we kind of bridged this in another episode, but we talked about how you get to a point where you can't do everything by yourself. Yeah. And then you just kind of have to rely on others, and you have to trust others to do what they're supposed to do and do what they say they're going to do. And most people don't want to let you down. Like the trust that's so hard to give away is they want to see you do well. Yeah. And once you figure that out, then you can trust people more, and it makes it easier to do in the future. So the fact that you figured that out, this point and at your age, that's pretty cool. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of that, it's pretty cool too. When someone that doesn't benefit them at all, and they pour a lot into you.
I think that's super cool. You know, just how nice you can be to a person. You know, like I've met some extremely wealthy people who are like fucking nice, incredibly nice, and like you wouldn't even know. And I feel like that's the way you should live.
That's the weirdest thing, because most people, you just have those people where like you don't even know them, but you just don't like them for some reason.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people like that. And CJ knows most of those people end up being like close friends of mine.
Yeah.
In the future. It's the weirdest thing. Like most of the people I used to like just be like, I just felt some type of way about for no reason.
Yeah.
End up being close friends of mine years later.
Just gotta switch your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really impactful. I can tell just how you talk about it. Like it evokes emotions. I remember one time I shot a wedding for a client who was very well known, had been on a TV show and a reality TV show, and so I shot the wedding, and then like 2 days later, I had like People Magazine, Us Weekly. I had these magazines calling me wanting pictures, and I was like super out of my element. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's lit.
So I reached out to a famous wedding photographer who'd shot like major celebrities' weddings, and I DM'd him and didn't expect to get anything because I was on social media and just like DMing them. Like they probably get all kinds of different people hitting them up for whatever, and within minutes this dude was hitting me back, and I was like, holy cow, this guy is like, he's the shit. He's done what I wouldn't mind doing for the rest of my life, and just does it all the time, no big deal. And came back right away, and he's like, hey, as a matter of fact, all this stuff goes through this person. For me, this is the person I use. Here's his contact information. Tell him I sent you. And so then I texted this dude, and next thing you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And these guys don't know me from anybody else, but they deal with these magazines all the time, and they know what to do, and they were willing to help this stranger out, and it was so cool to see them take the time to do that with no benefit to them whatsoever, and they to this day probably don't know the impact that had on me, but it was badass.
I mean, I feel like most people, once they see you working, they're gonna like want to help you. You know, that's why I tell most people, because some people complain and like, oh, I don't get any help or nobody supports me. But I think once you work and people see that you're working, like you get a lot of things.
It gives them something to believe in, because if you ain't showing me nothing,
you're not showing me anything.
Right.
Jeff always taught me you create your own luck.
Luck, exactly.
There's no such thing as luck, man.
thing.
No such thing.
You know, you've been working for this, and it's just like...
It's really weird how the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah,
it's strange.
It's really weird. Yeah. That's so true, man.
And I feel like most people, like, they, believe it or not, they are kind-hearted. We just try to put on this, this weird face for social media,
because I know exactly what you're saying. Because the people who like need the love the most act like they don't need it. You know what I'm saying?
It's the ego.
It's the ego thing.
Big
and
ego.
I've changed a lot. I mean, you guys have known me. I feel like I've changed a lot the past year, and the main reason for it is just I've learned to be radically open-minded, and open to criticism, and like you said, just service to others. Because my mentor had a mentor. He paid it forward, and hopefully one day, I'll inspire somebody and be able to pay it forward to them. You probably didn't even know, but this wedding photographer who, helped you out, that small gesture probably, without you even knowing it, was a reason that you paid it forward to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You do what other people do. That's just how human nature is.
Yeah.
Definitely. I had to get some more, Jamie.
So I know we kind of touched on the sweet spot, but like the name of our podcast is a sweet spot. Obviously, we all have different sweet spots. We kind of heard what your sweet spot with music is, but I'm curious to hear two versions of your sweet spot. First one I'll start off with is, like you said, you want to, before you get into the studio, you want to vibe, you want to get in your element. In other words, you want to get in a sweet spot. How do you get into that pre-studio sweet spot? You know, what does it feel like? You know, do you have to drink? You know, just what do you do?
So, definitely don't drink.
Okay.
I mean, I drink, obviously, but like...
you don't drink in this, before you record?
No. Somebody told me
wow.
that was extremely cool. But
Yeah,
I've never, like, gotten shitty drunk and, like, made a song. I want to, but it'll probably be by myself. I don't want to waste people's time. Most of the time I record, because I recently just now learned how to record myself. So most of the time I record, it's on other people's time, in a sense. So it's like, I'm not trying to go in there and drunk and shit and, like...
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Sure, you could do it right here.
Yeah, true. Like what the fuck is going on? But usually, like, before, I don't know. I don't have, like, a ritual, you know? I definitely smoke.
Okay.
I definitely smoke before. If I'm not singing something crazy. Because if I have to hit, like, extremely high notes, then I wouldn't smoke before, you know?
Now, for the people that, like, do you smoke cigarettes, weed?
Weed.
Like, weed? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't smoke cigs.
Cool, so
That's cigs.
weed helps you get into your mental element.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, there's a time like you say you didn't want to drink just to make sure you don't have to drink.
Yeah.
It's time that I stopped smoking and made music just to make sure I could still do it.
I got you.
Because, you know, I made music before I even thought about smoking.
Yeah.
So
it's not a necessity.
it's not a necessity. Yeah, so I don't really have, like, you know, sometimes when I was in LA, people be like, bro, don't get high real quick. Because, you know, we got to do this shit. Like, because sometimes, you know, you get off track. It happens. But yeah, I don't necessarily have a certain thing because I don't want to be, you know, binded to it. You know, I don't.
That's interesting. That's super interesting. So your sweet spot is essentially having,
I would say having good
space,
good people around me.
Okay.
Like, I always like having Lars record with me.
Okay.
He'll tell me what I'm not doing right, what I'm doing right. That's important as a manager.
Yeah.
I always tell people. It's like, I like the criticism, but I also like to hear, oh yeah, you're doing good. Because it's like, it's good to know because I won't know if this is actually good if you don't tell me. Because I'm just doing this. I'm not like, there's no ego behind it. I feel like I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. So for you to actually help me and tell me is a good thing. But what were we getting into again? I'm sorry.
Sweet spot. So yeah, it sounds like you just want.
Oh yeah, I just vibe. It's just the people, really.
Okay.
In a sense, and like, I like nice studios too. Though.
Okay.
I would rather make music in a nice studio, but when it comes to me writing, like, where I recorded my EP is like kind of like this room.
Okay. So environment's a big. It sounds
environment.
Like
Yeah, most artists do. I've been in sessions that weren't mine, and like, they weren't vibing with the people in the room. So they're like, fuck this. We're gonna do this another day. So yeah.
And then the other question would be, so what's your sweet spot in life? Like, at what point will you reach your sweet spot?
Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm always, you know, trying to find the next thing. So I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like me right now in my age, I'm worried about being financially secure. So I guess you could say that in a sense, but that's not something that I'm worried about. I feel like I'm gonna be okay. But I would guess my career, like, seeing it take off more than where it is right now, you know, or just to be able to continue to get better. I just want to get better each year, you know.
You want to have family, kids?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
It's not really my main focus right now, you know.
Yeah, I think that's I feel like that's where we are, like, in the podcast, is like, this is just like, we enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for the other guys at the table. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere.
Exactly.
I think as soon as you try to turn it into something else, that's when you screw it up. I think you got to do it for you first.
Yep.
And if you're having a good time, like, cool. If other people can come along for the ride, then it's bonus.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can be super critical of yourself and, like overanalyze everything. So you have to figure out how to enjoy
It's a balance.
Yeah.
You have to find the middle ground.
Yeah.
You have to find the middle ground.
Because, something of too much drive you crazy,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a good example would be everything going on right now. Like last episode, we spoke about the inside out approach with COVID and how important, health, fitness, and everything else is. And, a lot of people, like we were just talking about, they couldn't find the middle ground during quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
There was no balance.
Still can't. There's a lot of people that still can't.
Yeah. Technically we're still in it. So,
yeah.
But
if you're outside of Texas,
somebody else just shut down all the way. Iowa, I want to say.
Iowa.
I don't know why I'm saying Iowa, but I feel like I just read it on Twitter.
I feel like they had the least cases.
I don't know why. Somebody just leveled up and was like, we're doing mandatory mandates and stuff like that. So
it's crazy. Crazy.
Have you been on a podcast before?
Podcast?
Yeah. I'm sure you've been interviewed.
Yes.
But
it never came out. But
really?
Yes.
So this is kind of your first one?
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. No,
you're
this
good.
would be my second one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're getting excited. You're like, oh.
Yeah, he reeled you
I
in
didn't want
and
to tell
let you
you.
go.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's still super cool.
No, yeah. My homie Jonathan, he's from New Orleans, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but but it's my first one this year. So.
Yeah.
So, super important question here. Sushii with 2 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Why 2 eyes?
You just run into a lot of, like, if you're searching it, you'll run into a lot of stuff. So just
marketing, just straight marketing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't want to have to do it, honestly, but I was like, fuck it.
That's cool.
And you probably can't
answer.
trademark sushi.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I can't trademark it.
Yeah.
Because this is a food, you really can.
Yeah.
It's like,
Can you
probably
trademark it when it has 2 eyes though?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
I'm
pretty
like
sure you
100%
can.
sure you can. What up?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you better get on that. Once people hear this,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
like, fuck,
I'm gonna get .com. You got .com?
I think about that all the time. What's .com?
The domain.
Sushi.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I don't.
That's someone.
And if I did it, it wouldn't be sushi.
I feel like you don't really, as a artist, you don't. I mean, it's gonna be on Apple Music and like you're using other platforms.
You tell me major artists don't have websites?
No, I'm definitely getting a website.
Oh well, yeah.
You should have a
Eventually they
website.
do. I feel
Are you
like.
telling me there's no Drake.com?
Yeah. October's very young.
Yeah. So they trademark phrases.
Yeah, that's what
Instead
I'm gonna
of-
do. I'm gonna trademark a phrase. I can't
Yeah,
tell you the
people
phrase
actually-
until I do it.
Yeah, you got it.
People actually turn that into like a hustle though, like taking
Oh, yeah.
people's
No, yeah, and trying to get
and
them
sell
to
it.
Yeah, squatting
They
on
can
those.
have it.
I don't know,
Dang,
because like
that's
a lot of
smart.
athletes, have to go through that. Like professionals, if they want to get their .com, like hopefully they got it pretty
Early
soon.
on.
Yeah, early on.
Yeah.
Or somebody's making some money off.
You might
of
have to
that.
go with like 4 eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
Then you be
5.
good. You might check that before.
I'm
you
telling you, like sushi is getting more and more popular. Like people are just, I don't know. I don't
Shit,
know.
I just started. I used to not eat sushi until this year.
Exactly. I feel like it was like a huge craze between like 2008 and somewhere. I don't know.
It's all my daughter wants to eat is sushi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Do you eat sushi?
Yeah, I just started about to.
It's coming socially like acceptable.
Like
Like,
for real, I literally just started like about
funny.
a year ago.
I used to think it wasn't healthy. I was like,
Right.
I just thought it was nasty, but there's a certain
I
kind
mean,
that I
I
really
can,
like.
you
Kai.
can make cases on how it's not healthy.
yeah.
It depends on.
But
what
then
you-
again, those people aren't working out. They're doing a lot of stuff that isn't healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We good here, boys?
Yeah. think that was a pretty cool interview. I mean, even your listeners, I feel like they got to kind of get to know who you really are behind the music.
Yeah, I don't really talk a lot, so this is good.
Well, that's good because we got all 4 introverts then.
Yeah.
Once again.
That's something we speak about probably on every. Man, at this point, everyone's just saying it. We're all like.
They just know they got to say it coming in. Yeah. If you're a guest, you got to say you're an introvert.
Are you an introvert?
No way. That's so crazy.
I like being alone. Like, I'm really like social, but you gotta talk to me, if that makes any sense. I'm not about to go up and like.
Yeah.
What about with women?
I don't know. Most women I've never had to like get at them.
Oh, really?
It's most of the girls I've talked to, they talk to me.
Oh,
So,
damn.
It's damn. No, I'm being serious though.
That's a luxury.
I've never like. I would tell people this all the time. It's just like, and when I have girlfriends, like I have them for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm not like out like talking a lot to women. At one point, I was like, damn, that's gonna be a problem one day.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been.
There's got to be a stat. You know how many successful people classify as introverts?
I mean,
That's got to be a stat.
I spend a lot of time alone thinking. So
Why don't you just make one up? You make up stats all the time. 90%.
90% for sure.
90%.
I was telling Brenda I'm gonna start using physics says instead because I normally I'm like science shows.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody say physics states. I was like, damn, that sounds. I'm gonna just start using it for no reason.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
90% of extroverts are actually introverts, right? Yeah. It's a good stat. All right.
Just make shit up. That's how it goes.
All right, guys. So, Sushii, man, thanks for coming out today.
Thank y'all for having me.
It was cool.
Man.
I love getting to pull back the curtain and hear about the process and everything that you do. And I've had a good time getting to know your music. And ever since I found out you're coming on, I've been playing you in the car, to and from work. So that's cool it's cool to hear and think about that kind of stuff, right? And we feel the same way when people talk about us and the podcast. So
yeah,
I
this
think
is dope, man.
I think it's awesome.
I fucking like it.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in today. We hope you're able to take away some meaningful content that allows you to find your sweet spot. If you like what you heard today, please make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Or if you're listening on our other platforms such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please support us by hitting the follow button. If you want to interact with us on social media, please follow us on Instagram at thesweetspot.podcast. That's at thesweetspot.podcast. Take care, and we will see you next week.
We out.
Nice job, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Coffee.